So hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the first of these special events. Hopefully I'll cover over the next couple of months if I get a chance. But the first one we're going to be looking at is Imola in the Audi R8 GT4 version, and just where to get started with this lap. Initially coming to the car itself and taking it out on track, I was probably hitting probably around 154, 155. And initially I just thought, how the hell has anybody got into the 150s? But obviously it was early days at the circuit, and just getting to grips with the track limits really is something that you're going to need to come to terms with. Changing the car's handling characteristics really, trying to get the car to almost oversteer a little bit into some of these corners, just to be able to carry the speed. It's definitely a momentum circuit. And car really, so you're really trying to carry as much speed into the corners as possible, and using as much of that circuit as possible, running curbs here, there and everywhere. Obviously you've got that middle chicane section that's pretty much do or die really, and just trying to keep the car rolling through that chicane. But yeah, it's been an interesting one, and certainly returning in a GT3 car, I'd like to think I'm going to be a little bit quicker. I was hitting 143.4 in the last attempt, well the only attempt I've had at Imola so far. So hopefully knowing a little bit more about the track limits and where you can carry a little bit more speed, I'll certainly be thinking I'll be hitting the 142s. But yeah, it's the setup's going to be, we'll look at the setup next, and then we'll take a flying lap around the circuit. You can see where I'm trying to position the car into a lot of the corners, and hopefully this will give some of you a chance to sort of reposition yourself on those leaderboards and sort of go for the top 10 really. So let's get into having a look at the setup. So moving on to the setup then, I'm not going to go too deep into how the car's actually set up. But I just wanted to run through the setup on screen so that you can take a good look at it, see what changes I've sort of made. Obviously trying to make the rear end of the car a little bit looser, so we've got quite harder suspension at the rear. Things are just harder at the rear really. The rotation raised the rear ride height quite a bit to get the car to rotate. The main objective is to get the car rotating into the corner. You can see the number of laps that I've run to be able to get into the 151s or low 151s. So let's have a go at attacking this lap. So straight away, I think you'll notice once you get down the long finish straight, fifth gear almost feels quite long. It feels like fourth gear is slightly shorter than it should be, and you probably wanted to extend fourth gear a little bit. But yeah, if you had gear adjustments I would extend fourth gear, but it's just not possible. So going into turn one, we're going to be looking on the right hand side for the little orange marker on the Arco barrier, and braking sort of just before that, trying to get the car down into fourth gear and run as much of this inside curb as you can. Maybe a tiny lift through there just to settle the car as you come over the curbs, and then back on the power again. And then I think this is just after the 150 yard board, I start braking really early to get the car slowed down, to be sort of accelerating at this stage out of the corner really. Getting the car slowed down again at the board on the right hand side there, down into third gear, and holding third gear all the way through this corner, accelerating right out onto the curbs. Again, we're going to be looking for that board. I think the last board on the right hand side, I think it's the 50 yard board, and then just braking, trying to get the car turned in, staying in fourth gear and carry fourth gear all the way through here. Don't run too wide or you pick up a track limits penalty. Braking at the last board there, just on the left hand side, and then down into third gear, or just finally dropping down to third gear, running a tiny bit of that inside curb, and then not running too wide on the exit. Looking for the curbs on the left hand side as we approach here. This is where I'm going to start braking, and then just getting down to third gear, try and just keep the car rolling through that phase in third gear, and then accelerating out. As we come down here, we're going to be looking just under the bridge to the boards on the right hand side, and I think it's this board here, I think it's a 100 yard board, So hard to get the car slowed down into this section, and then carrying third gear all the way through here. Car slides around a little bit on this last corner and then accelerating out. I certainly think I've got a 150 in me, but obviously only running a few laps. It's just trying to nail that perfect lap, isn't it? But good luck to everyone. Hope the setup works well for you. Please do like and subscribe to the channel. Hopefully I'll have more content later in the year as things progress. But as always, ciao for now, stay safe.